Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday to you all. Welcome to the Work From Home Breakfast Series ran by JobAdder. We'll be bringing you the most forward-thinking tech and integrations that are working with JobAdder at the moment to help you do more with less at this challenging time. My name is Liam Cosgrove, and I look after the partnership channel at JobAdder. Just to give you a bit of an update of some of the motivations that we're going through at the moment. At the heart of JobAdder, we are committed to innovating and supporting the recruitment industry. And these are real trying times for the industry. So this requires even more support from us. So we're actually giving away JobAdder for absolutely free to all rec-to-rec firms that are out there. So anyone who's signing up, not just at this time, but for the future, will have rec-to-rec. Who are rec-to-rec businesses will have JobAdder for absolutely free. So if you're one, let us know. And if you've got any friends in the industry, please let them know that we're here to support them and to reach out to our team. So today we are joined by Aircall, Andre Suchali, who is the Director of Sales in Europe and APAC. Andre is actually logged on. He's based in Paris, so it's Sunday night for him. So Andre, I really appreciate you jumping on with us today. He's going to be talking around about their phone system, which is a VoIP system that's really deeply integrated into JobAdder. So looking forward to seeing what that looks like later. Andre has been in recruitment or working with in-house talent teams and agencies for the last few years, really focusing on agencies over 50 users. But we do have users that are using both the Aircall and JobAdder integration with 3 or more users. So they look after all types of different customers in both agency and in-house talent teams. Aircall's been going through some real hyper growth at the moment as everyone adopts this work from home technology. So Andre will take us through that a little bit later. So feel free as we go through this session to write any comments or questions that you have as we go through. And we're going to keep this session to around 15 minutes so everyone can crack on to their Monday. So to kick us off, Andre, could you please give us a sort of 60-second elevator pitch about Aircall?
Yeah, well, first of all, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Liam, here for the warm introduction. So yeah, 60-second elevator pitch of Aircall. Well, let's say if you're in recruitment today, you probably know that each phone call is one step closer to getting this position filled. And I mean, it's a process. You get some information during this phone call and you then use it on your next phone call. However, the problem is when you check your application tracking system, JobAdder, you rarely have information of this phone call. You actually have no data, you forgot to log it, and if you did log it, it actually took you a lot of time to manually enter this data. And this is a lot of productivity for you every day at each phone call. So Aircall is the cloud-based phone system which will allow you to natively connect to your JobAdder so that all of your calls made by the recruiters will get logged against the candidate page or the customer page, giving you full visibility of all the calling interactions that you've had with any person present in your JobAdder software. So if you take a step back as a director or as a manager, Aircall allows you to have full monitoring and tracking of your calling activity of your whole recruiter team.
Great, thanks, Andre. That's a real nice intro to what you guys are doing. Could you tell us a bit about what you're seeing in recruitment at the moment and maybe some of the issues that are cropping up and those conversations that you're having and supporting?
Yep, definitely. So since the last couple of days, we've had a lot of recruitment companies reaching out to Aircall, letting us know of one big issue, which was sometimes that their actual whole phone system was linked to their office. Their recruiters had a desk with a phone on their desk, and that's the old way, I would say, of seeing phone system, because as soon as you have something like this today, everybody has to start working from home. They're now no longer able to use the phone system that they were using to make and reach out to their customers and candidates. So this whole move has been, in terms of business continuity, has been a big pain for often the IT directors in the recruitment companies, or even directly sometimes for the directors in those companies, for them to continuing to allow their recruiters to make and receive phone calls. On the other hand, also, working from home, that might be very new for some recruiters, and whether it be also for the directors and the managers who are used to listening to whatever's happening in the office, and now all of a sudden they're losing this whole control and this whole monitoring that somehow they got used to over the last couple of years, and now they are only by themselves at home and they can't listen or they can't hear anything and can't even know if actually people are making their calls to the candidates or the customers. So those have been two big pains that have been mentioned by recruitment companies over the last couple of days.
And if I got Aircall installed for my business and had that working from home and everyone was using it remotely, what would happen when I go back to the office? Can I use that on top of my phone system that's already in place, the desktops?
Great question. Actually, no, that's the thing. Aircall will replace what you actually have today in your office. So there's no double paying here. You're probably already paying for a phone system, which basically allows you to make and receive phone calls. That's all. Aircall is completely a phone system, and if you start using it here during this work from home period, when you're back into the office, you no longer need your traditional phone system that you have in the office. Your numbers that you have will be ported. You'll be now taking your calls from a soft phone, which means an app on your computer, or on an app on your mobile phone. No longer need of a traditional phone on your desk.
Great. Well, I actually use it. We use it internally at JobAdder, and
Right.
I love using it. And I have it on my phone. I've got it on my desktop, and it's great. We'll look at the demo later, but I actually love using it. And how is the technology solving these issues for your customers right now? You mentioned obviously now teams are working remotely. What is it that's beneficial by using your system that's great for these managers or even the team that are now on the fly?
Yeah, well, I'll mention maybe for some feedback that we received from the team on the fly. They are the ones today using maybe the software the most and making the calls. What we've received as feedback is that they're using this period where some positions have been frozen, some positions have been closed, and it's now the time to actually connect and entertain like good warm relationships with your candidates, to know exactly what they want, to know exactly where they stand in their career, to know exactly which would be the right move for them moving forward. It's actually the right moment to call them, because they don't have to isolate themselves from the rest of the people in the office, because they are by themselves in their home,
At their
basically.
homes, yeah.
Exactly. So what we're seeing is that they are benefiting from Aircall massively, because they are using Aircall as the tool which will allow them to keep this relationship as warm as possible, meaning that every time they're making a call, maybe the candidate is not answering this time, but maybe he's calling back a couple of minutes later. And when he's calling back, the recruiter has the whole JobAdder candidate page popping up in front of him at the same time when he's receiving the call on Aircall. And this is super valuable, because he's no longer greeting the incoming call with a simple, "Hi there, who are you exactly? Oh, did I enter you in my contacts?" No, we're able to fetch the information in JobAdder, and we're allowing the recruiter to say, "Hi, Liam, from this company. I know exactly that I called you this number of minutes ago. I know exactly where you are, and I'm able to show you that actually I do care about you as a human person."
Great. So really bringing out that candidate care at this time to try and support the network that they already have in place.
Correct.
Can you tell us about some of the wins perhaps that your customers have experienced? Has there been any great stories? I know you sort of mentioned briefly there, but is there any key stories that you've had recently?
Yeah, well, I think some which have adopted the product while their companies were all moving and starting this work from home period
Hmm.
have been particularly, I would say, happily surprised by the user experience and the user interface of the telephony solution. Basically, they were used, and that's something very big, because they're now working from home. In their day-to-day, they're using Netflix, they're using tools like probably Spotify or Uber Eats when they want to order something. So those are tools which have, like, even JobAdder, they have amazing UX and UI, and they were never used to a phone system, a phone app, which has such an amazing UX and UI. And for them, we saw the number of calls that they were making increase just because they started adopting the product and liking the product so fast and so much. And that's I think a nice win, that when you see that actually when you have a piece of software that is being used by somebody for their day-to-day work, and they more or less have to use it, but it's even better when they actually love to use it.
Yeah, great. And when you have beautiful software, it just means you're going to continue to put more information in it. You're going to make the CRM, or the ATS in our case, more
Yep.
relevant because you're continuing to update it and actually use the system. Great, love that. And just to sort of finalize us or finish us off there, what are some of the USPs about this Aircall system, and how does that assist with the work from home setup?
Yeah, I'll say the massive unique selling point of Aircall is definitely as a phone system to connect natively with JobAdder. I mean, from an admin or director perspective, you basically have your phone system set up. In one click, you connect it to JobAdder. On the following minute, you have all of your reps, recruiters, starting to call customers or candidates, and have all of this calling data logged automatically in JobAdder. This is giving, like, in terms of insights for the recruiter himself, in terms of tracking for the director and manager also, an insane amount of data that they will be able to use. So that's I would say is the what we've built together with JobAdder. This integration is the main unique selling point today.
Great, thank you, Andre. And please, could you take us through then what this amazing integration looks like and
Happy.
how it performs with JobAdder? And I
Yeah,
really
very
love,
happy.
I know when we talk about JobAdder, it's about how beautiful the system is, and ease of adoption. And it's great to hear that our customers have found the same, actually using Aircall and JobAdder, that it is easy to adopt. It is easy just to go through and pick that up straight away because of how intuitive it is.
100%. So here, what I've just shown on my screen are two things. One that you'll probably recognize is my own JobAdder account, opened here on a candidate page, which is one that I created for myself. And on the right, what you have here is the actual Aircall phone. So as you can see, this is what we refer to as a soft phone, open from your computer, and this is now replacing the black box that you had on your desk. For those people who are still very much used to making calls from their mobile phone, you have the exact same app open from your mobile phone, whether it be an iOS or an Android phone. So this integration has several parts to it. One of it, if I'm working from JobAdder and I'm actually on a candidate page and I want to call this candidate very quickly, I no longer have to dial manually any information. I just click on the number, and this sends the number to my Aircall phone immediately, so that I can start making the call directly from my Australian phone here. Then the call is initiated, and I can then see if my rep is answering or not. Let's say he doesn't answer, but luck, that wasn't the right timing. I end the call. I have the option to maybe take some notes saying no answer, but in any case, all of this will get logged into JobAdder. Now, let's say I'm now doing something else, working on my JobAdder, my new JobAdder dashboard, looking at the different positions that are currently open. And let's say that I'm going to have this candidate who I just called calling me back on this number and trying to, well, know what I wanted to discuss with him. Here, I'll have the actual Aircall app ringing, and I'll be able to bring up the contact details of JobAdder immediately in one click. And I'll answer this call, and I'll mute myself just to avoid any sound disturbance. But as you can see, I'm not sure if that was perfectly clear on your end. I tried calling this candidate here, Andrei Sochila. He didn't answer. That's fine. He was maybe on a meeting. Now I started working on something else. And a full few minutes later, this candidate called me back. And while it was ringing, I could already have access to the JobAdder candidate page. So I could already know what was the job position that I was thinking of for this candidate. I could already check the previous notes that was logged for this candidate, sorry. And then I picked up the call, and I'm actually talking now to the candidate. Whatever action I want to do, again, as I'm on the call, I have all of them listed here as buttons. If I want to, for instance, here, refer to something with my director because I'm not too sure of the information. So let's say I want to transfer this call to my director, Ainsley. I'll be able here to transfer the call by talking to her first. And maybe, by the way, I realize that by having talked to her, I'll no longer need to transfer. So I'll go back to the call, and I'll be able to solve whatever I needed Ainsley for during this call. And that's basically one of the many actions that you can take while you're on this call live right now. And the beauty of it, of course, is once this call is ended, you've got all of the information of the call getting logged inside JobAdder with all the information that you can see here. So you can know that you did an outgoing call, you logged some notes taking here, take some notes, you left a tag at the end saying demo, the duration of the call was 1 minute 40 seconds, and you can even have the call recording to go back and listen to this call. So if I'm the recruiter, I know exactly what happened, at what time I got interactions with this candidate. And if I'm the manager, I'm sure that things are moving forward, whether it be with candidates or with customers.
Great, thank you, Andre. And can I just add on there that there are recordings to the calls, and in Australia, in particular, you can choose to have those set on or off due to the current legislation that's in place. So you're able to toggle those. We've actually had a few questions come through there, Andre, which I'm just going to run through. So Claire asked if I like to use my mobile instead of the desktop Aircall app, will that record my notes in JobAdder as well?
Yep, 100%. If you're taking calls from your mobile app, the Aircall mobile app, then calls will continue to get logged the exact same way as you can see here in your JobAdder software.
Great, thank you for that one. And then Ben has asked, how quickly can Aircall be up and running for a recruitment agency?
Yeah, well, basically, it's a matter of seconds, or I should say maybe minutes. Basically, you can create an Aircall dashboard and start creating numbers for your teams in just a few seconds. Australia is a country that allows you to basically create numbers on the fly. So if you want to open an Aircall, start an Aircall account, and you have your 20 recruiters and create 20 numbers for them, it's probably going to take you 2-3 minutes, and then assign all of those numbers to your recruiters, and they'll be able to download the Aircall app. And you on your end as an admin, you'll connect to the JobAdder 1 more minute, and that will be all. They'll be able to start making calls.
Okay, so smooth and easy there. And Kate's asked, can we keep our original numbers as we are with Spoke?
Yep, definitely. So what we do, like any phone system, is called portability. So if you have existing phone numbers with a current provider, we can port your numbers. That's a regulated process by the government, basically. But we handle all the paperwork for you, so that you're able to keep your numbers. During this porting process, we're able to plug those numbers so that you can already use them for outgoing calls. And when the porting process ends, then you're able to receive also the incoming calls through the ported number. It's usually a question of 15 to 20 working days.
Okay, thank you. And I know you've got a fantastic offer available for JobAdder customers. Could you let us know a little bit more about that?
Yep, 100%. So in this period of working from home, what we want is to help companies digitalize themselves. As we said, this can replace their existing phone system, something they're already paying for and not getting much value from it. So we want to
Mhm.
simplify this transition. So for that, we're offering the full first month for free to help them in this transition.
Excellent. First free month for free.
First
Why would
first
you not
month,
sign up?
one month for free.
1 month for free. Perfect. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Andre, for going through that information. If there's any more questions, oh, sorry, there's a couple here. From Nikki, what
Yep.
are the costs involved in using Aircall?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
What are the costs involved? So that's from Nikki,
Yep.
and yeah, there's a cost, and Leah asked a similar question. So what's the costs typically?
Yep. So you've got a license fee per user per month. So per recruiter per month who's going to use the system. This license fee is $40, and you've got a fee for the if you want to make out calls, basically. So you've got a fee per minute or a bundle, a fixed bundle for you to make unlimited calls to Australia. If you want, if you're a company making calls internationally, then you've got rates also for the other countries. But basically, think of those two fees: one for the actual person, that's $40 per user per month, and then you've got the fee per minute for the calls, or a fixed fee for unlimited calls to Australia or to another country.
Okay, thank you. And another question has come through from, and sorry, I said Lee before, it was Leah, apologies. And Dan has just asked a question. How does it work with caller see our number and know who is calling them as usual? Dan, I assume you're referring to if the number has changed there, or if you've
So
changed
if
to a
you,
new
yeah,
number, then I presume this would
if
be a
you
different number
exactly, if you've
or a
changed
different
your
ID.
number, it will be a different number, and it will display the Australian number that you have picked from us. So whether it be a local Sydney number, a mobile number, we can even provide some 1300 number or some 1800 numbers. But if you've ported your existing number, then we're able to display your existing number.
Hmm. And a question following on from Katie's question, can we keep our original numbers as we spoke? And her next question was, what about New Zealand companies? So I presume Katie is based in New Zealand.
Yep, same thing here. We're able to old numbers. The regulation in New Zealand is pretty much the same as in Australia. We're able to port New Zealand numbers, and we're able also to provide new Zealand numbers should you need any.
Fantastic. I hope that clears that up for you there, Katie. Yes, and thank you. Brilliant. Well, I'm going to wrap us up for today, but if you'd like to know anything more or want to hear from the Aircall team, we'll share some links to reach out to Andre and his team. Yes, they're based in Paris, but they've got support on 24/6. So there's always someone available to look after you when you're using the product in the future as well. So thank you all for joining. I enjoyed my tea this morning. I hope everyone has had a nice coffee and ready to start the week. I'm assuming it's going to be another big week. So good luck to everyone. Again, please let everyone know about the Rec to Rec free offer that we've got running. If you've got any colleagues or acquaintances in that space, we really want to help out the industry, and using technology such as VoIP systems and Aircall will really help with this new setup that everyone's going to be experiencing for the foreseeable future. So thank you all for logging on. Andre, again, thank you so much for your time and joining us on a Sunday evening, and I'll speak
Thank
to
you,
you soon.
Liam. Thank
Cheers.
you
Take care,
all.
everyone.
Have a great week. Cheers.
Bye.